Hey guys, what's up? Eric here yet again. Welcome back to another episode. I haven't made a video in a little while, just been busy, personal life, work, etc. But today I am bringing you a review of something pretty interesting. As you can tell by the title, probably it's already been spoiled, but I'm not a big reader, to be honest with you. I never have. Any assignment I've ever had in school for reading purposes, I never read, so I pretty much just failed all those reading assignments in school. There's just something about reading that I don't enjoy. I feel like I have to force myself to read. I really feel like I have to. I feel like I don't have the attention span to read. I'm not dumb, I guess, but I don't know. Reading just isn't a favorite pastime of mine until I found a certain book called Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Now, if you haven't heard of this book, allow me to read the excerpt from the back that pretty much sums up the story in just a paragraph or two. So get ready for my own personal deliverance of books on tape to you via YouTube. In the year 2044, reality is an ugly place. The only time teenage Wade Watts really feels alive is when he's jacked into the virtual utopia known as the Oasis. Wade's devoted his life to studying the puzzles hidden within the world's digital confines. Puzzles that are based on their creators' obsession with the pop culture of decades past, and that promise massive power and fortune to whoever can unlock them. But when Wade stumbles upon the first clue, he finds himself beset by players willing to kill to take this ultimate prize. The race is on, and if Wade's going to survive, he'll have to win and confront the real world he's always been so desperate to escape. So basically, let me just kind of expand on the back of the book here. In the year 2044, there is a simulation thing. If you're familiar with the game Dot Hack, sorry for this sunshine. Looks like I'm an angelic being. If you're familiar with the game Dot Hack, you can pretty much kind of summarize it with that. It's a virtual reality thing. You have these goggles and you have gloves and stuff that allow you to immerse yourself inside of this world. And it's gotten to the point in society in this book in which everybody escapes from the real world to this fake virtual reality known as Oasis. Now, the creator of Oasis, his name was James Halliday. He created it in the year 2014, I believe. So I expect us to see that pretty soon. Who knows? Basically, he passes away, and he has no close friends, family, or any heirs of any sort. So he brings about this contest. Now, what you have to do to win the contest, and what the prize is his personal fortune. I think it's like $244 billion or something. I don't know, some crazy number. Basically, you have to immerse yourself in the stuff he liked, and the thing with James Halliday, the creator, he was always trying to push people to like everything he liked. And what he really likes and what this book is all based about is 80s pop culture. Music, video games, TV shows, you name it, it's in there. Or at least it's referenced. So basically, there are people called egg hunters, and the prize you get at the end is the egg, Halliday's egg, pretty much, which is like his nest egg or his fortune or whatever. I guess you can take it as that. So there are people called the egg hunters who've been trying and searching for years and years to try to find one clue to get to his fortune. And the character Wade Watts, who is the main character in the book, is the first person to find it, to find the very first clue of many. There are 3 gates that you must go through, and there are 3 copper key. There are 3 keys: the copper key, the jade key, and the crystal key. Honestly, this book had me turning pages after page. I just could not believe how immersed I was in this fictional fantasy virtual reality thing. It kind of reminded me of the movie Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, obviously it has nothing to do with that, but the premise is kind of relatable, I guess you could say. You're pitted against certain people who have certain whatever, and you're trying to have the end goal, which would be James Halliday's egg. Now, along the way, there are certain references to 80s pop culture, which you may or may not understand. I got about 75% of them, but the best thing to do with this book is keep your computer nearby or your phone nearby. What I did is, if there was something I didn't know about, like a song or that the author referenced, you know, I went in, typed it on my phone on YouTube, and listened to the song to kind of make it all the more relatable to me, and really just kind of, you know, enhance my experience, so to speak. Plus, one other great thing about this book is it talks about 80s video games. You know, it talks about the Atari 2600. It also talks about some stand-up arcades such as Joust, Black Tiger, Pac-Man, Zork. There's just so much stuff, so much 80s pop culture references that you will understand. And if you are, you know, somebody who really enjoys gaming and stuff like that, you will be like, wow, they said that, you know, this is so cool. Personally, the highlight of the book for me, you know, I'm a huge music guy and I'm a huge Rush fan. They talked about Rush in this book, and there's a point where Rush, the band, and their music, I won't spoil anything, but they have a pretty pivotal part in the story, and I was just elated to hear that, you know. As if my pants weren't tight enough, they got a little tighter at that point. It's just great read. Honestly, I can't recommend this book enough to those of you who are gamers, pop culture people, or anybody who's just a fan of the 80s, honestly. Growing up, I used to be, you know, into music. I loved the 70s because of the rock that spawned, you know, from that decade. But now, honestly, I have to say that that the 80s is my favorite decade. Not, you know, because of the music. Sure, the music was great, but the pop culture that came out of that decade was just so groundbreaking. And this book really is a refresher course on 80s pop culture and why it's so cool and why it's so important to the story. It's pretty much the keystone to the story. So, like I said, this book is absolutely great. It's a page turner. I read it in about a week, maybe half hour to 45-minute sessions sitting down. So it's, you know, it won't take you that long, because once you're in, you're not going to be able to get out. So thanks for watching this, guys. Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Definitely recommend this. See you again soon.